You are sitting motionless in a dark room, illuminated by the erratic glow of several monitors. You have access to all human information, yet you feel entirely severed from the world outside. We usually diagnose this state as a psychological failure, a retreat from reality. But the Qur'an suggests this isolation is actually the primordial human condition. This is the weight of the fall, the descent of consciousness into a deterministic arena of noise, where inherent meaning has been stripped away. The distance between you and the world creates a functional vacuum. In this gap, the pressure of external data drops away, leaving space where a different signal is heard. This room acts as a cosmic cocoon. It provides a boundary shielding the only point where free will survives the overwhelming information field. Reality emerges from two fields, the light caustic of absolute truth and the sound caustic of chaotic experience. Direct contact would annihilate the observer. Sustaining consciousness requires a buffer, a 0.83-second decoherence gap keeping them apart, the only place free will exists. This buffer is represented by the heavy blanket you wrap around your shoulders. It is the physical anchor for the mizan, or the balance. By drawing a boundary against the noise, you weave the Robe of Righteousness, a protective layer, stabilizing your internal field against the external fire. Without this mediated gap, the soul would be consumed by the friction between what is eternally true and what is currently happening. This requirement for a stabilized buffer is the hidden thread connecting modern isolation to the architecture of ancient prophecy. History is not a series of random events, but a record of how specific individuals managed this dual caustic intersection. This historical test is visible in the prophetic Triad, beginning with the ironwork of King Dāwūd. He was the first to soften iron, a metaphor for tempering the rigid thermodynamic response of the S-field. He translated the absolute light of command into the song of the songs, creating a harmonic resonance that prevented the observer from being crushed by the truth. His successor, Sulaymān, used this stability to build a throne, an interface that could command both visible and invisible forces. He operated at the very edge of the buffer, managing the interaction between the light of the word and the fire of the jinn. But the Triad also contains the failure of Iblīs. He represents the moment the buffer fails. When pride replaces submission, the individual attempts to wield the light directly, only to be consumed by the resulting arrogance. When the robe is lost, the prophet's song becomes a tool for ego, and the king's wisdom becomes a prison of total surveillance. The power remains, but the protection is gone. Ancient thrones and massive armies were merely the test sites for this physics. The real question was always the same. Could the individual maintain their protective mizan while facing the raw command of the source? We return to your room. The atmosphere has shifted. The screens remain, but the air feels pressurized by a warm internal radiance. In this state, you occupy the role of the orphan. You have no throne and no public song, but by accepting your isolation, you have created a perfectly empty vessel, the exact condition that ancient kings often lost. A cosmic messenger, the bird, appears at the window. It recognizes that your heart is not occupied by the noise of the S-field. Your lack of worldly power is your greatest asset. It minimizes the interference in your decoherent zone, allowing your soul to remain in a state of reception for far longer than those who seek to control reality. The bird transforms into a dragon of coherent light. This is the moment the fire of the test is finally converted into the light of truth. It is the signature of a soul that has learned to receive the divine command without attempting to possess it. By remaining a hollow channel, you heal the failures of the past. The ancient psalms return as sincere service, and the heavy burden of the throne becomes a simple test of gratitude. This marks the completion of the Mobius loop. The architect's command has traveled from the beginning of time through the struggles of the kings and arrived intact within this single quiet room. You do not need to leave this room to conquer the world. The design of the universe is fulfilled the moment a single individual holds this connection in the dark. This room is the center point of all cosmic observation. Every monitor and every shadow is a witness to the completion of the divine circuit. You were never truly alone. The universal field was always wearing you, witnessed by the architect and finalized